Hello friends, welcome to Data Pandit. So after a long time for AWS content. So today we are going to talk about the full-fledged data warehousing, star schema data warehouse created in the AWS Redshift. So we have already discussed about the architecture of the AWS Redshift cluster and how the cluster runs and what is the benefit of creating Redshift cluster and moving our on-premises or any analytics or AP related data analytics to the AWS cloud. So those benefits and architecture we have already discussed, and today we are going to talk about how we can create the full-fledged data warehousing schema into the AWS Redshift database, and okay, and how we can control the and AWS Redshift cluster using the SQL client. So there will be a few steps while doing so. So first we are going to create IAM role, which we need to be, associate with Redshift cluster. Okay, and as we will populate the S3 bucket because we are going to pull the data from the S3 bucket to the AWS Redshift cluster for the respective tables, and there will be a role of SQL Workbench. SQL Workbench would be used as a client to perform the creation part and copy part. Okay, so there will be a multiple variety of sources basically. The part table would be in different format, format in the sense of it could be a delimited or CSV file, or a customer table could be in the CSV format. A DW date format could be in the fixed format. So these kind of variety of sources we have, they could be placed in different multiple on-premises location, and we are going to pull those data into the SQL Workbench, and also they could be placed in different AWS region. Maybe they are not available to my region where the AWS Redshift cluster is running. They could be any other region, so that we can pull the data from other region also. And okay, and the variety of source systems. Okay, and there will be a okay, SQL Workbench, and that's all, and the Redshift cluster. So these 3 to 4 things we will have to we are going to provision and going to use basically. So before we are going to provision and do it, so let's discuss about what we are going to create as of today to excel our expertise into the AWS Redshift. So people are say that AWS Redshift is a data warehousing solution provisioned or serviced by AWS. Okay, so what this is the star schema. Okay, so we have 4 tables surrounded by fact. So line order is a fact, and it is connected with foreign key primary key relationship. We have part table, supplier table, customer table, and the data DW date is the nothing but it's a date table. So in all classic data warehousing application, we have a date table, right, which will be a used in different star schema and snowflake schema and different data marts. Okay, this okay. So this is we have a data for all these different table which are residing in different locations of the AWS, or it could be on premises, and we will pull the data from AWS S3 to the S3, and then populate the AWS Redshift database, DB. Okay, so let's start one by one. So let's go to the AWS management consoles. My things are already done. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through again. So I have created. So first of all, we are going to create the IAM role. So why IAM role I'm going to create is, so my AWS Redshift and S3 bucket, okay, they needs to be communicated. Those two AWS web service needs to be needs to be communicated to each other. Therefore, I need a IAM role. So IAM role I'm going to create. So this S3 reads Redshift read only is my IAM role. Okay. So if you go to the this IAM, okay, I have already logged in. So you type in the search box and go to the IAM, and then you can right click on open the new tab. So this will be opening the dashboard of identity and access management. And go to the roles. So if you go to the roles, there will be probably will be already existed roles. So what we are going to do, you need to create the role. Okay, so you create the role, then AWS service, and then you're going to provide the Redshift here. So okay, then you can provide the Redshift customizable or Redshift anything. Okay, then you are going to create the and go to next, give the name and um, give the policies to. Okay, so I am not going to do it because I have already done multiple times, and if anybody do not know about how to create the roles and all, so you probably go through those earlier videos in AWS playlist. Okay, so I have created this role, okay, and I have assigned this policy, okay, Amazon S3 full access. Though I named it as a read only, but it is in full access actually. So I just given the name. We can edit and modify the name, or probably create the new role. Okay. So this is all about. So what it role now help us is to AWS Redshift to connect to the S3 bucket. Okay. So again, then we will be creating the bucket. So this is my bucket. Okay, go to the Amazon S3 and go to S3. Okay, from here, if you want to log in and go to the S3 bucket, so go to the buckets, create the buckets, give any names. Okay, all right. So I have created my Redshift bucket 111. Okay, because 111 and 11 was already there, so I given this name. Okay, so you know already how to do it. Okay, and then I create another folder load. So these here I am going the load folder I am going to use for this process. Okay, so let's go to the on this one. So we have created S3 bucket, and then created the IAM role also again, and a SQL workbench is going to be picture. So let me make it as a fourth step over here. Okay, so now we will create the Redshift cluster. So go to the Amazon management console. So I have created already, basically, because it comes with the cost. So whenever I was creating the data warehouse, I was copying the tables and all. So I have created this process already. So I don't want to delete and recreate everything. So this Amazon creating the Amazon Redshift cluster is a easy thing. You can probably go and see my previous two tutorial I have created. I mean published as part of AWS Redshift. So first is AWS Redshift architecture, where I have talked about architecture, how the functioning happens as a AWS Redshift. Okay, how it is scalable, how it is fault tolerant, and how it is cheap, and how the Redshifts can be populated from the different various data sources within the AWS or from the outside. Okay, and another video I have already talked about, that which be a kind of lab tutorial where I have already created the cluster and other databases, and we have created some tables, and all. So for this tutorial, I can go to the Redshift cluster. What different I have done, or maybe because a SQL Workbench, we have a SQL client, right? So because that comes in, that is there. Therefore, why it is getting modified, I don't know. Okay, let's do one thing and let me refresh it. Yeah, it is available. Maybe there was something. So my cluster is available. So there are two important things which needs to be done. First, because you are going to connect it with the uh, SQL Workbench, what you need to do is, so uh, okay, you go to the properties and you see whenever you create the Redshift cluster, right? So you provide the security group. So I have provided this security group. So go to this security group. Okay, we have done these things multiple times, so I'm just kind of revising it. I mean, just letting you remember it actually. I mean, so what I have done is you need to go to the inbound role, you need to edit the inbound role. What you need to do is, as part of this inbound role, is you go to the your security group role ID and then you type the service. Okay, here you give to the Redshift. Okay, then 5439 is the port associated with the Redshift service. Okay, and then go to the customer and give your this one, my IP. Go click on my IP and give the this IP will be automatically come and save the rule. So this will allow your SQL Workbench using this security group. This will allow the SQL Workbench, which is a client, to connect to the Redshift. Okay. Therefore, we are giving this one. Also, because my SQL Workbench is outside the AWS. So I need to do one more thing over here is go to the Redshift and I need to modify and give the publicly accessible enabled. Okay, so because I'm going to connect from the outside. Okay, SQL Workbench. So now the things has come. So now go to the SQL Workbench. How to configure the SQL Workbench? Okay, so I'm going to remove it. So because it is already configured, so I'm going to give the steps again back. Okay, go to the connect window, give these four things. Okay, Amazon Redshift driver. So how will you give the driver? Okay, you need to okay, if you need to select something and if it is not available, then you need to give the driver. So how would you give the driver is, I mean, so you go to the cluster and there will be a configuration over here. Go to the configuration. So here is the driver, JDBC drivers. Okay, you download it and that into your machine, and then you configure it over here. Okay, you go browse and give this Amazon Redshift driver. Okay, and then the URL you need to give. So URL is what? URL is nothing but the endpoint. Okay, cluster endpoint. So go to the cluster, open the cluster, and you have a endpoint. So this endpoint is going to be the URL in SQL Workbench, and then AWS user is the user, and this is going to be the password. So and you do the auto commit. Sometimes the error comes when we run any command. Then you already supply the auto commit as enabled. Then you test it. So when you test it, this successful message is going to come, and then you can do it. Okay, and I'm going to remove this command. So now you can create any tables in Redshift cluster database. Any tables you can create, and also you can populate those table using the copy command. So in next sometimes what I am going to do is I'm going to perform these steps. Okay. So before that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this URL. Okay. When you go to this URL, there will be a zip file, and that zip file you need to download. And I have already downloaded it. So this is there. Okay, I have downloaded, and there will be these many files, customer related files, multiple small file for each and every table. These will be there, DW date file and part file. So these three kinds of file would be there in this zip file. So you need to download it from this URL and download, unzip it, and place those files into your S3 bucket. So I have done it already. So all those files I have copied over here. Okay. This one thing you need to do. So this will be sufficient for our three tables. Okay. Which table? Part and customer table and DW date table. Supplier and line loader we are going to get those tables from somewhere else, some different region while copying. Okay, so we have done those things. We are, just now we are going to create the tables. So to create the tables, this is a simple command basically. So let me go to the AWS Redshift. Where is that? Query editor. Go open the query editor and go to the query, right? Not go to the query. Okay, I think I need to connect the database. It is getting connected. Okay, now it has connected. So database is my dev database, which I have already created, and AWS usually the username. So I have, because I have already created, so you could see the customer table, DW date table, line order table, and part and supplier tables. All those tables you can see over here. And also you would see the data is already copied. Okay. But whenever you are going to do is what you need to follow the those steps, and you need to create those tables. So how we are going to create those tables? Okay. So let's go to the notepad, and what we need to do is, so first of all you need to create those 5 tables. Okay. So what I am going to do is, I have copied, I have create statement, I think somewhere I have I missed this. So I had the create statement. Okay. So what I am going to do is, I will be placing all those create statement. Okay. In the description of the video upload. Okay. So there I would be placing all the creation statement, and after creating those tables, create statement, you would be running over here in the SQL workbench. Create table, table name, then so as we are doing in other database, right, Oracle or SQL Server. So likewise, you need to create those tables. You need to give the column name, and the data type, and the not null or null, depending upon that. So you don't have to give the any constant and all, because constant thing is not working here, like it happens in other RDBMS, right? Holding the conventional RDBMS like Oracle, SQL Server, those things are not going to be there. But that we need to take care from our side whenever we are going to code, okay, code or upload the data. So create the load ready file, load the data, and then run the OLTP queries. So that is there. Okay. So first of all, what we need to do is, you need to create first table, part table. So let me explain this table statement. So what is there in this? So I have zoomed it. So this statement is copy part from, this is our S3 location. Okay. Part hyphen CSV TBL. So this part name, partly I have given this name. So if you look at the S3 bucket, go to the S3 bucket. So there are there are multiple part table, right? 0002, 007. So all those table would be, if you supply the name like this, so all those table would be considered. So what we need to do, create the part table in Redshift, and copy the data from where? This S3 bucket, okay? And credential is this IAM role, okay? So I told you, right, why we created the S3 read only, S3 read Redshift read only role is, you need to give this ARN for this. So how will you get the ARN? You need to go to the IAM role. Where is the IAM role? And this is ARN, okay, S3 Redshift read only. So this you need to copy, and you need to place over here in this IAM role, and the value key value pair is going to be, okay, this is key, and value of that is the ARN, okay, from here to here. And then the format of, there are multiple options depending upon the copy command, and depending upon the what data type you have. So because it's an CSV file, so I given the CSV. Okay. So in other tables, there will be other properties we need to give depending upon the quality of the data, and the alignment of the data, and the variety of the data. We need to give all those options. Okay. So if you just create this table, so I'll probably try to create this table. I'll remove this table from already, this is part table, right? So this is part table. Okay, I'll remove this table and let's try to create the table. Okay. Go to where? Go to Redshift and then I'll part table. Okay. So if you click over here, you have options, right? Drop table. So the drop table statement is going to come over here, and if you run it, so it would be automatically running it. So now I do not have the part table. If you look at here, I refresh it, there won't be any part table. So what I'm going to do is I will create this part table again. So I'll just run this command. I think a career record value should command copy part from this one. Yes, here cannot copy into non-existent table. Oh, because its table is not there, therefore it is not creating. Okay. So I think I have misplaced this, create table, create part actually. Let me how to do it. So let me go to I have because query history. Let me go to a query history. Okay. Create database. No. Okay, category date. Okay, my spectrum drop table part. I think search. Let me search it if it is there. Part drop table. It is coming. There is no create. Then I don't know why the create history is not there. Drop table part is there, finish 42 second, and then there's a drop table twice. Not sure why it is there. Let me go to the editor. We have a few more tables wherein let me I'll uncomment it and I'll try to see. This is the system table actually. So I was thinking that if the things has been logged over here. So okay, otherwise what you can do is you can create the part table. You need to give this. You need to know. I'll supply those create statement over here. So what I would be doing is I'll blank out the customer table or the supplier table. Let me see what are the things we have. Okay, let me see the customer table. I'll blank out the customer table. Okay. I'll delete all the record from the customer table. Okay, and I'll show you actually how it is running. Go to the query. So delete from public. I think there is a statement or public dot customer. It is a huge table, I guess. So it is taking time. So I delete everything. I think it is deleted. Select count star from public customer. Let me check. It is giving count 0. So let's run the customer thing actually. Okay. So let me explain this why this customer copy command is large actually. So go to the SQL workbench. So let's try to understand it. So what is there in that is this is a fixed length format basically. So it is also taking the data from the bucket, the local bucket, which is residing in the same region. So if you want to see the region, I am in Mumbai region, okay, Mumbai Ape South one, okay. So and my what my because bucket is all universal, so it's a global service. So you will not see. So okay, but you can see the bucket properties and you can see where it is there, okay, where it is getting created. So it's, AP South one. So this is the region of my bucket. So go to the load and there is a customer, okay, customer data. So there are customer tables. I told you, right, there are multiple small files of the customer table 000. So this is a fixed format file, okay. Therefore we have using we need to specify the, the value of these fixed. After 10th character, there will be a C name. Up till 10th character, you need to skip to get the C name. 25 again 25 is the then C name. Then C address is again 25. After after 36th character is C address is getting started. Okay, you go 25 and 10 35. 36th character is C address. So therefore, I need to give the values of this if it is a fixed width. Okay, so these are the options of the copy command basically, and then accepting where if it is an UTF-8 or those kind of error is coming, then you need to specify. Even then there are error, then you can maximum 10 errors you can ignore. So if I run this command, okay, so what it is saying, so there are 99k record, almost 1 lakh record has been loaded successfully, okay, and there are a few records rejected, so they are going to related to this UTF-8 thing. Then that you can see in this table basically. So you go to the, where is that, Redshift, and some query is there, right? So I already, so you create another query. Okay, I'll just copy, select all from STL replacement. Okay. Oh, what happened? Okay, and okay, and if you run this, STL replacement is a audit kind of table which is already there in the Redshift database. Okay. So you can see the, so because I run multiple times, so you must be showing, so it failed for my thing, okay. So for C address, there will be some details, okay, your role line and what it has been replaced, okay. So those kind of things you can, so this table is the kind of uh, method, this audit kind of tables, okay. If anything, LUR happens, the query logs and all will be placed into this table and all, okay. Now, so I was explaining, right? So for the customer table, because it's in a fixed length, therefore there are multiple options. Like, so this is the format of the data actually, customer name, address, start, and all. Okay. Now the supplier. So now we are going to talk about one more thing. So my supplier table. Okay. So let me copy this to the SQL workbench. I'll remove it. So this I wanted to discuss with you. So because it's in gzip format, supplier row table, and also this this is already there is a bucket. These are the public bucket basically. So people who want to try and learn the things, they can take the data from these public buckets, which are they are already full filled. Okay. So I have also was going while going through the documentation, I came across this and I was I was decided, or they were instructing you can take the data from supplier table, for the supplier table from here. So this residing in the different bucket, sorry, different region, okay, and that obviously the different bucket, okay. So in this region, this bucket is there, and this is my credential for my bucket, okay. And I want to create the copy command. So my bucket is not involved here. I'm going to copy the data from the another region bucket. So US West 2, this is the region for this bucket. I'm going to get the data from there, supplier data, okay. And this is a GZ format, so there's a different option. Delimiter is the pipe delimiter, okay. So this is first unzip it and then find the delimiter and then load the data supplier table. So if you look at the supplier table data, so you, because we already done, so you go and see the data. Select all from supplier. Okay. So look at the data. By the time it comes, we could cover different other tables. Okay, 3 tables we have covered. DW table is different, so there is an date format is related to date format. So this is residing in already in the my buckets. Okay, if you look at the bucket, so where is that? Okay, this bucket and the DW date. So there are separate small files. So these are in the same format, and this will be copied. Okay. And again, DW date table. Oh no, it's not line order. I think so. Line order table. Okay. So this line order table also I'm getting the from US East one. So like it was in the US West one, so it is going to be in the US East one. So if you look at this copy command, right? Line order table, the fact table is placed in some other region basically. So you see, credential is same, and line order is this is US bucket of the US version, right? And east one compute a date of. So you don't have to date compute as it is. You take the date. You don't have to compute and all. Ignore that any computation on date part while copying. So those multiple options are there in the copy command. So likewise, you can do it and then come to the Redshift cluster. Come to the dispute cluster, and now you have all the data, and you already had the data. You can so you can browse all the data from here. Okay, so this is all about creating the complete data warehousing kind of schema over here. So you also, I mean, try to see and and after that you need to clean up the resource. So before I do that, so there is some more command actually I happen to see was the vacuum and analyze. Why? What is vacuum? So because we have done, we have emptied the table, deleted the tables, and you need to run the vacuum command after that, so that the sort order would be reclaimed. You know, okay. Uh, so there will be a unclaimed space while deleting the data and and inserting in the data. So okay, in those kind of lengthy operation, there will be some unclaimed space. You know, as part of the Redshift database table. So as we do, statistically collection and gather state and all in other databases. Likewise, you need to create the vacuum first, and then you need to analyze it. When you do analyze, this is the exact same as gather statistics. So these vacuum and analyze, we need to practice. I mean, we need to. It's the best practice to, run these so that the data is getting realigned according to the cleanup and the new insertions you have done. So these two commands you need to just run. Okay, after the database operations in the Redshift. So with that, I think this is the end of. We have come to the end of this session. You remember to clean up all the AWS resources and all the tables from here. Thank you so much.